Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Today we are doing asynchronous distance learning. This whole week is distance learning. This video is important. We will build on this next class. We are not doing anything new next class. It'll still be this topic. But here is your notes for this topic. So please make sure that you are paying attention in this video. You are taking your own notes on paper or printing the PDF that I sent you on the stream. So there's a few different theorems that we have to work with triangles. The first one is the angle sum theorem. We kind of talked about this last class. The angle sum theorem says that the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. There's a little weird thing happening with the PDF, so it happened when I printed it too, so I'm just going to kind of fix this. It's in every theorem, it does it, so bear with me. So in the figure at the right, angle A plus angle B plus angle C should equal 180 degrees. That is what the angle sum theorem tells us. These three angles, these three angles added together should equal 180 degrees. So if we look at problems like this, okay, we should know that all these angles, so angle R plus angle S plus angle T should add to be 180. So angle R is 25, angle S is 35. We don't know angle T, but it should equal 180. So we add those together. That gives us 60 plus angle T should equal 180. So if I subtract 60 from both sides, I get that angle T is equal to 120. You could have done this a simpler way. You could have just looked at them, added them together, got 60, and did 180 minus 60 to get T. But I'm just showing you kind of algebraically what's going on, okay? This one we can do with a little more common sense. Focus on one triangle at a time. So if I look at this triangle, I have two angles, one missing. I should know right away that these three angles add to 180. If I look at this triangle, I only have one angle, so I need to solve this one first before I can even attack this one. There's nothing I can do there. So let's just focus on this triangle. I'm missing one of them, so I want to add these two together. 90 plus 58 gives me 148. So these combine to be 148. So with this one, I should get 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 148 to find angle 1. That gives me 32. These two angles should be equal, guys. This is throwing it back to the first unit. These are vertical angles. They're opposite each other. They make that X, okay? Those are vertical angles. They're congruent. So if that's 32, then this is also 32. So we found that angle 1 is 32, angle 2 is 32, and now we still need to find angle 3 because this problem asks us to find the missing angle measures. There was 3 missing ones. So we found that that's 32. So now we can say, okay, 32 plus 108 gives me 140. And then to find this missing one, you're just going to do 180 minus 140 because these three angles are in one triangle. They should add to 180. So then we get that angle 3 is 40 degrees. Okay. Moving down to theorem 2. Theorem 2 is the third angle theorem. It says that if two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of the second triangle, then the third angles are congruent. So if this is congruent to that, because they have one tick mark, angle A is congruent to angle D. So since what this is trying to say right here that I can kind of fix for you, because like I said, it messed up the printing here. So since angle B is congruent to angle E, and angle A is congruent to angle D, and we know that because of the tick marks. by the third angle theorem, this means that angle C should be congruent to angle F. So these have to be congruent because the other angles were congruent. So since angle B is congruent to E, A is congruent to D, that means that these third angles must be congruent because I must have a congruent triangle. So it's kind of like this. Think back to this triangle over here, right? This one was 90, 58, and 32. Okay. Obviously, if I have another triangle that also has 90 and 58, then obviously this angle must be 32 because all the angles add to be 180 in a triangle. Hopefully that makes a little more sense. Our exterior angles is a vocab word we will use a lot. It is the angle between one side of a triangle and the extension of an adjacent side. So this is an adjacent side, okay? And this is that extension. So this is our exterior angle, angle 1. And then we also have remote exterior angles, which are the interior angles of a triangle that are not adjacent to a given angle. So angles 3 and 4 would be examples of remote interior angles. So the only angle we don't really talk about here is angle 2. Okay. This information is important for when we flip to this next page as we talk about the exterior angle theorem. The exterior angle theorem tells us that the measure of an exterior angle, so remember that exterior angle is this angle 1, is equal to the sum of the measures of the two remote interior angles. Okay, remember those two remote interior angles are these, A and B. Okay, so what this is saying is in the figure at the right, angle 1 should equal the sum, so we're adding, of angle B and angle A. So if we add angle B and angle A together, we should get angle 1, which is that exterior angle. So exterior angle equals remote 1 plus remote 2. So these are my two remote angles. So now looking at some pictures here and applying that theorem. Okay, so here is my exterior angle. Always just look for that little extension. So there is my exterior, here, right here, here's my exterior, because that's that little extension. And then never use the angle that's right attached to it. So the angle that's right next to that exterior one, that's not a remote. That's the easiest way I remember it. Whatever one's attached or connected or adjacent to that exterior angle, we're not using that one when we use this theorem. That's not remote. The other two in the triangle are remote. So now I'm going to add the two remote angles, so 80 and 60, and those should equal that exterior angle 1, which is what I'm trying to find. So 80 and 60 gives me 140 degrees. That is angle 1. Okay. In this picture, the two remotes are X and 55. So I should add those together and they should equal that exterior of 78. Now I got to solve for X, which is one of my remote interior angles. I'm going to subtract 55 from both sides and I get 23 degrees. Okay. This one's going to step the game up a little bit. Like I tried to say on the last page, focus on one triangle at a time. So if I look at this triangle, I have 2 pieces, I'm missing 1. If I look at this triangle, I have 1 thing and I'm missing both remote angles. So I can't solve anything with that top triangle, so I'm going to start on the bottom one. So when I look at this bottom one, this is that little extension, so this must be my exterior angle. And I see another extension here, so that's got to be my exterior when I look at the other triangle. So that means these are my remote angles. So I'm going to add those, 70 plus 55. That should equal angle 1, which is my exterior. And they want me to find all missing angles. So I need to find angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. Just going to write that down and box it so I remember I have to find all those things. So I'm adding these together for angle 1. That's going to give me 125 as my angle 1. And remember, that's degrees. Now, angle 1 didn't help me get 2 or 3. But I do have vertical angles again right here. So if this is 55, then angle 2 is also 55. So anytime you get stuck in these problems, always check, are there any vertical angles that I can label? So angle 2 is 55. And then that means we can use that same theorem, exterior angle theorem, to find angle 3. These are both remote. So 55 plus angle 3 should equal that exterior angle of 150. So I'm going to subtract 55 from both sides. So angle 3 must be 95 degrees. Okay. Now we're going to do some more challenging versions of both theorems we learned. So this one we're given, so by more challenging, I mean now we have expressions, not just numbers. So this is a triangle. I'm given 3 different angles. Okay. I should know, based on the first theorem we learned, the angle sum theorem, that all 3 of these angles should add to 180 because all angles in a triangle add to 180. So I'm just going to grab each one of these, rewrite them, add them together, and then set them equal to 180. So I'm adding the 3 angles together, setting them equal to 180. I'm going to combine all my like terms. So x and 3x is 4x, and 2x is 6x. Okay, now I'm going to do 40 minus 17. And then I'm also going to take away 5. These are like terms. So that's going to give me 18. Then I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. I get 162. And then lastly, I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. And x is 27. All they wanted me to do there was solve for x, so I am done. This next problem is a little different. This next problem, they are not giving me 3 angles in one triangle. This is an exterior angle out here. And they are also giving me 2 remotes. So these are my remote. Remember, based on that exterior angle theorem from up here, add the 2 remotes together, set them equal to the exterior angle. So my 2 remote angles are 103 minus x and 2x. So I'm going to add those together and set them equal to that exterior angle, 6x minus 7. I can combine my like terms here. Negative x plus 2x is going to give me a positive x. I can subtract x from both sides and add 7. So that gives me 110 equals 5x. And then I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides, and I get that x equals 22. Once again, all they wanted me to do here was solve for x, so I am done. Okay, we are going to have some more practice on this on Wednesday as well. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, try your best on the IXLs. Come to office hours if you need some help. And then are going to work more on this on Wednesday. Okay, have a great day, guys.